Hey Gabriel, I'm trying to learn German, and lately I've been feeling overwhelmed trying to learn all these grammar rules. Now that there's a lot, is there a way to learn all these grammar rules without feeling like you're going insane? Are grammar textbooks the best way about doing this? Please, I need your advice, I need your guidance, please help.
Hello there, and thank you for the question. And I think I'm going to answer it in terms of general grammar, not just German grammar specifically. I know that grammar in German can be a little bit intimidating. There are a lot of elements that are a bit tricky, especially for native English speakers. But I mean, it's going to be the same thing if a native English speaker is learning a Romance language, French, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, you name it. Grammar can be a little complex for all these languages. So I'm going to speak in general terms, and I think that this can be helpful for, all you guys learning a new language out there. I know a few really talented polyglots that do not focus on grammar that much, okay? That being said, specifically for learning German, I actually did a lot of verb drills. I did a lot of grammar exercises. I have a lot of books that focus on different aspects of German grammar. I did the same with French, actually, and Italian. That being said, I think that looking back, I could have done things a little bit differently, and that could help me learn a little bit faster, okay? What are these things? I think that number one, I think it took a while to actually get a decent level of exposure to the language, okay? Because when you're still trying to master grammar, you're too focused on grammar, you just tend to put that off and think, oh, reading an article is going to be just too complex for me at this point. I'm going to just wait. And I think that you got to get your exposure to the language right away, even if you're at a basic level or low intermediate, whatever. I think it's important for you to try to get as much exposure as you can to the language, okay? And of course, quality exposure, right? Content that you're interested in, right? Ideally, you will have access to audio with text, perhaps podcasts that also have a transcript, so you can read them when you don't understand them. And once you gain a lot of exposure to the language, what happens is that you will be absorbing some of the grammar just naturally without really much effort. But, I personally think that grammar drills can be, and grammar exercises can be helpful. However, I think that it's really, really important to try to focus on specific aspects of the grammar and actually review them, perhaps using flashcards or a flashcard software. Okay, so let's say that I got here this book on German pronouns and prepositions. So let's say that I did all these exercises here, and if there's something that I'm struggling with or that I'm trying to learn, I can get the phrases that I wrote, and assuming they're right, and hopefully you're gonna have a book that has the answers in the back, just to make sure that they're right. And what you can do is that you can use these sentences that are in your grammar book and review them with flashcards. And I think that that's going to be really useful because you will be actually employing the grammar. You're isolating a specific aspect of the grammar, and you're going to be reviewing it with actual phrases, with sentences. And the more you use these sentences and review them, the more you're going to be able to just employ the grammar correctly. Something that I always say that is good to emphasize at this point, I guess, as well, is that do not stress about grammar. Initially, as you're learning your target language, you will be making mistakes. You won't be able to conjugate verbs correctly, perhaps, or something that I found a bit difficult in German was the declension of the articles according to the cases. It took me a while to understand really how that worked properly and also how to actually put that into use without making a lot of mistakes. If you get the genders and the articles wrong, German people won't mind. They're going to be pretty impressed that you're learning German anyway. And sometimes even German people do get some of the articles wrong. So it should really not be a source of stress. Now, the more quality exposure you get to the language, the better, because that way you will be absorbing some of the grammar. I really struggled with prepositions in German, actually. Now I'm a little bit better. It's never a bad idea to review it anyway. Do try some exercises, but try to review sentences. Try to employ the grammar as much as you can. Try to create useful sentences. Repeat them out loud, review them, do whatever you can. That way you're going to be absorbing the rules, you're going to be absorbing the grammar, you're going to be able to use it correctly. So hopefully this was helpful to some of you, and good luck learning a new language.